fine. We're recording. We're good. Well, we're as good as we can be right now. It's very true. Things are very stressful. I don't think I'll need my glasses.
Good. Put them on anyway.
I need to remember where they are. Are they on my desk or are they upstairs? Let's find out together, shall we? Oh, it is. Jer, were you on the counter? Oh my goodness, baby. Today is not the day to test my patience. Okay. Right shift, left shift. Arrows. So it's arrows and yes, that does say suck and blow. Just for everyone at home. Okay.
I obviously can't read it, so that is also in that.
Settings. Ain't having none of that.
I still can't decide if I'm gonna go back upstairs and just go back to work.
Or we're gonna try to get something out of that. So. Hell yeah. We only have one person in our friend list that's played this.
Yeah.
Science and alcohol. And I blew that score out of the water. So for everyone at home, I got this game from a Humble Bundle, like way back in like 2010 or something, and I love it. It's a beautiful little, brick break made by a small company. The music is probably one of my top 5 soundtracks of all time. It's done by a guy named Module. And he's a cool dude from New Zealand. As I'm understanding, most people are cool dudes from New Zealand. Or most cool dudes are from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Or most people from New Zealand are cool dudes.
We'll get there.
One of those is accurate. Cool. And this is I want to say physics-based, that seems a little reductive. It's got better or different types of physics than most brick breaks, because it's got suction and blotion. I'm not sure what the verb is, but that sounds much more fitting. But yeah, you can not only manipulate the paddle, but you can manipulate the trajectory of the ball. You can there's lots of little fun power-ups and all that fun stuff that you expect from brick breaks. And of course, the soundtrack fucking kicks all the ass.
I'm gonna probably be potentially playing Okami next one, but I'm only doing I'm trying to get over, so it's something very interesting to watch.
You're not missing anything super important.
Unless I try to play for
Oh my god. That was quite the endeavor last night. I feel so bad for you.
Let's just say it was a fun time and not a good one.
She was here for a good time, not a long time. Except for also fishing is the exact opposite of that.
Look, I'm all for good fishing any day. Okami's isn't bad, it's just...
Yeah,
It was a fun.
it was an endeavor. Am I allowed to say things that would, no, you cannot. I feel like your therapist has been like with a spray bottle. You're like, I don't know, existence is really hard right now. Well, yeah, I understand that. I don't know if being alive is really worth it.
2020. We put flops in here.
Flops. Flops is a good
I
verb.
wouldn't say it. I wasn't gonna say it that way. I was just gonna say I feel helpless and like there's nothing I can do, and I simultaneously want to sleep for a very long time, puke, and go and punch somebody.
You know what? I feel that.
So yeah, like I'm at the point now where it's like I am suicidal, yes, all the time, but like it's almost like more annoying to everybody that I continue to exist. So here I am, continuing to exist.
In defiance of God and everyone. The evil.
I'm just like really upset because like this morning when I woke up I had all these plans about what I was gonna do and like I know it's a stupid thing to be upset about.
What, this edition?
Also I forgot my therapy's later if you want to let's this up.
I love the power-up Unstoppable, like, a lot.
I decided to live just despite my chocolate.
That's a great reason to live.
There you go, Tony.
The turtle needs some fucking vengeance exacted upon him, even in the most passive way of existing in defiance.
Would you say that I am moderately more grouchy or mildly more grouchy than usual? You can guess what I'm doing over here. I know that I'm grouchy. I just don't know which moderate or mild.
I don't know if I can accurately say, dear.
I won't be upset. I'm not sure which one to answer though. I know I've been grouchy. We've gotten into more arguments this week than we have in a long time. Though I feel like calling them arguments is reductive because it's just conversations that are uncomfortable. We don't really argue.
Yeah.
I'll put mild.
Boss time!
I'll put mild because I'm not upset about you saying I can't answer that. Fight the purple worm.
It's a worm! I love the prospect of like a brick break game where it's like you're a paddle. Your job is to be a paddle. And like you like stop doing paddle stuff and like the computer tries to fight you.
I love there's like a plot to this.
Like the Bat 1178 like has a character. And I think the thing that tickles me most about it is when you hear like creator interviews about it, they talk about with like the same level of like emotional intensity as like higher. Like Supergiant talks about their characters in like the same gravitas.
Paddle game with plot.
As far as I like love it, because this is like why are you it's a brick game. Like you can just really feel the character, you know, of the bat, and I'm like, you can? Its character is I hit things back out. It's fighting against the machine. It is a machine, but I get you. I mean, I saw robots. Robots can fight against the machine. I can't tell if it was the Greg Kinnear or the Mel Brooks one, but...
My teeth hurt so much.
Oh, really?
I've definitely been grinding my teeth all day.
Yeah. I heard it while you were napping.
Like, it's one of those things that I'm at the point where it's like, if you hear it, you need to wake me up.
But sometimes I'm...
But sometimes you're asleep.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. No, 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 no.
So I actually like, I don't mind filling out this health questionnaire thing,
Mhm.
but I hate the fact that when I answer it sometimes they're like, based on your answers, you should probably call the suicide hotline. I'm like, that's not gonna help, you stupid thing. Wow.
Have you considered that you may be slightly suicidal and should do something about it? And you're like, I have noticed that, but...
I may be slightly suicidal and should do something about that. I'm literally filling this out for therapy. What more do you want me to do?
Yeah, I thought that was enough.
Yeah.
False.
When you put Rage Against the Machine, Rage Against myself? I am a machine. See, that I feel that though. I am a machine. I Rage Against myself.
You're not the machine, dear. You're too gay to be the machine.
I'm like the left Ottoman then.
Rage Against the Ottoman? Jinx, you're not a fucking Constantinople light. What is this called?
I really appreciate that that's where you went. I was going with furniture and you went with Constantinople.
With the Ottomans.
Geishin. 2711 Geishin.
The Geishin?
Yeah.
Oh, Geishin. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, is that some... Isn't that like that Impact game that everyone's in love with right now?
Oh my god, everything sucks.
It's the little things. Oh. Oh no. Oh.
Like, man, I wish that I could be excited by Genshin Impact like literally everybody else. It's again, Court and I have been having this conversation recently where it's weird to kind of feel like we don't get the same enjoyment out of things as everybody else, and not in like the hipster way, just like we can't.
There's parts of our brain that we can't turn off to enjoy stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, it's always like, I look online like, what is Genshin Impact? It's like, oh, it's a game by a Chinese company. It's basically Breath of the Wild, but anime with a capital A. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. And then I'm like, well, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but I definitely don't like, anime games with microtransactions that are designed specifically to, oh shit, it's around now. To accomplish something like that, because to me it feels a little disingenuous.
Did you send me that video on purpose?
Yes, because I already have it.
Oh. Like, no judgment to people who like Genshin Impact. It's just that, like, we can't. And it makes me upset sometimes, because sometimes I just want to play a game and not sit there and think about how many reused assets this game, Genshin Impact's creators use, and how, like, one of the character models is most definitely just 2B.
Yeah, I saw, like, one of the primary complaints about it was, like, a lot of the animations and all that were basically ripped out of other games, more prominent games. Like, I saw a combat animation that was one of 2B's combos, and I was like, oh, come on. I played a lot of Automata. I'm not ashamed of that, it's just like, I know what I'm looking at.
And, yeah, it's just...
Yeah, again, not gonna yuck anyone's yum, just to let you know why I don't like it.
But, like, it's not just that. It's like, I can't watch The Mandalorian because I can't turn off the idea that, like, I'm really tired of Star Wars movies and shows. Even though I've heard incredibly good things and I've read the plot of it, I'd actually be interested, but, like, I can't get over the fact that it's Star Wars. So I can't enjoy it. And it's just like...
At some point, the cow's been milked. The cow done been milked, and we have to kind of let it die. And I'm glad there's people who are still willing to fight to hell and back for it. And Dave Filoni's doing wonderful work for a series that I think it looks like linen in that glass case, right? Like, just let it go.
It's like, those are just like some examples, right? Like, there's also like the ones that like Automata, which I can't like enjoy at all because I can't let go of the fact that it's not the game it should have been.
Oh yeah.
And like, if I could just be like, okay, it's not near, let's play it, I probably would enjoy it more, but I can't.
Right.
And it's just like, watching everybody else get to enjoy things when I can't because my brain won't shut up. I'm not talking about things with like legitimate problems. Like Cyberpunk will never be enjoyable because it's a trash fire. Again, I'm gonna keep
And
saying
everyone who's played it also tells me it's a trash fire, and it's like, yeah, but it's also win awards. I'm like, fucking why?
Yeah, like again.
I didn't get awards for my half-finished science fair project, and I got 4 months for that. They got 7 years. The hell are they doing?
Storm says, this is Shatter. It's a brick-based game
With plot.
with plot.
The
plot's very loose.
The plot is emergent and loose.
But anyway, yeah, Fortune is playing it because it's a great distraction from everything.
And the soundtrack's a bang.
And yeah, and if you don't want to watch, you can just listen to the really good soundtrack. You would shut up long enough to let you listen to it.
Oh, I have the audio up. Keep it. Oops, hit the wrong button. Uh-oh.
Civ said, I can't keep distracted. I have a low-key compulsion to keep up with it anymore. But it's quieter than you are right now, so there's that. Like, there's the part of me that's like, if anything actually develops, please let me know, but otherwise I can't just keep looking at white people being white people.
And getting away with it.
Yeah. So, like, if you would like to keep us informed if anything actually happens, but, like,
I'm doing okay on being informed.
You can keep me informed and I won't read it out loud.
Okay.
Unless it's like, Fort, we gotta go.
Which is possible. Maneuverable. I'm very much feeling the vibes of like, haha, return to monkey. It's like, man, the world's really stressful right now. Like, maneuverable.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Like, I can't keep track of my own brain right now. And so, like, oh, hey, I have the Aurora now.
Oh, no. Hell yeah.
So, just a side note, for those of you who have Animal Crossing, in the wintertime, you can get the Aurora Borealis over your place. And I have it tonight, Fort had it last night. It's really pretty. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
I can't show you well, because it just won't work that way, but just look up at your night sky if you're gonna play at night. You'll notice right away.
Hit the
At least for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm not sure if they do it differently in the Southern Hemisphere.
I'm pretty sure they have the Aurora Australis. I think I saw a post about that over the summer.
My brother-in-law is relatively high up in the Air Force, and he's a great person, but he just started to realize what was wrong, and it's both inspiring and heartbreaking to watch.
Oh.
But anyway, what about the Aurora? Yeah, in Animal Crossing, the Aurora Borealis will show up over your village right now, potentially. Fort had it last night, I had it tonight. It's really pretty. It's really nice. I'm gonna try to get blood info for these things.
Well, one of these is fake, but one of these is real. Which one do you feed?
Yeah.
Slowly and inevitably. The inexorable march of madness.
I was like super excited to work on cosplay today. One of my friends was gonna teach me how to make a bow. I got horsehair braid because I'm insane.
This Jinx is ready to fucking party!
I'm gonna put horsehair braid in a bow. I don't know where it's going or how it's gonna work. My friend's gonna teach me.
Somehow this is gonna work, and you're gonna make it work.
My friend's gonna teach me from Oregon. It's gonna be great. I guess the one thing I can say is that when I go to like present this, with the exception of maybe getting help on the wig in person, everybody else has been coaching me over text message. So like they can say all they want that other people did it, but I had to physically do it because no one else could, like, they can't do it over the phone. I just can't wait to find a judge that decides that my wig is 70% of, or is more than 30% of the costume. They will exist, and I won't have to deal with that. And what's funny is I've already done most of the styling of the wig, I just fucked the bangs up really bad. And so I need my friend who's really good at wigs to teach me how to not have fucked up wig bangs.
I mean, bangs in real life are hard, let alone
Anime
fake bangs.
Yeah.
If anime bangs, for sure.
It's funny because I sent a picture to Cheeky Puff at like 5 o'clock this morning. Like, can I save these? I was not working on a wig at 5 o'clock this morning. I was just like under the impression that I was going to have to give up on this cosplay again and buy a new wig. I decided to wake up with that notion. That's what woke me up this morning.
That's what woke you up, was the wig?
I went from like fast asleep to I need to buy a new wig.
Oh boy.
And I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and decided to start working because I was like, I guess I have to buy a new wig.
Oh, kid.
And then I sent the picture to Cheeky Puff and she's like, here's what I would do. And I was like, oh.
Do you mind coming by and
That's what I basically
that?
said. I was like, how is it, when is it going to be safe enough for you to basically make me fix this wig? Please come and help me fix this wig.
I see.
She is such a talented crafter, but she's also like a really talented like homemaker. I don't want to like reduce what she does down to it, but like she started a garden. She's redoing her entire front landscaping. She's
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, she was gonna make a fairy garden, but like a big one.
Oh, cool. So like a fairy pavilion.
Like, yeah, like she wants to make her front yard into like an actual like fairy garden.
That's cool.
And she was like telling me how she has to chop down a tree. And she's like, yeah, I'll be safe, but I'm not really looking forward to using a chainsaw. And I was just like,
Excuse me, what? At your size?
I know, and all I can think is like, she is smaller than I am. I have mad respect for this girl. Like she's amazing. And so
She's
I feel
a powerhouse.
And so I always feel bad that when I'm like, yeah, and I'm just gonna reduce her down to being a really good wig maker. She's like a really good everything.
But that's the thing, you're not being reductive.
Cheeky, I don't know if you ever watch our streams afterwards, but I love you and you're wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you've been having a hard time lately because your head sucks too.
I've yet to meet anyone who's doing okay. I think if anything, like, even my dad's struggling, but he just doesn't have the emotional competency to understand that he's struggling. And, like, when you're a parent, like, that, you don't really have the luxury of just, you know, falling apart like that. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, lots of oops.
Alright. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be playing Okami, but you will not be seeing it. I will make sure to use
You will only see Jinx's face going, ah.
I'm not going to try to catch fish like I was yesterday.
Those fish were bullshit, though. That sunfish had no right to be that annoying.
Yep.
I'll just say that right now.
I'm trying to get to 2 million yen and I'm at 500,000.
What was the other fish that gave you? There was one fish that you didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, I spent 10 minutes trying to catch it and never got out of the water once.
And that was something. Like, I was watching, like, Jinx, I don't understand. Like, also, I'm not a fishing minigame person, so I have, like, no idea. But it looked really hard.
I'm trying to remember the fishing mechanics in Nier, the original one.
Fuck.
Because, like, I remember picking it up really quick and you just being like,
How?
And I can't even remember how to do it now. And I'm upset by that, but I feel like it and Okami were similar enough, and that's why I could do it alright.
I think it was like a left when left, right when right kind of thing.
I can't remember if it was... Because so Okami is opposite direction. I can't remember if Nier was same direction, and I know you don't have to do a power slash.
Yeah.
He just pulled it out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've said it before. I'm upset that my practical magic is impractical because it only makes me good at fishing minigames.
I wouldn't say that's your only magic. I think it's the only magic that we've documented, that we have identified and documented.
For an explanation of what I mean by that, like, I don't know if you guys have seen that like discussion that everyone has a little bit of practical magic, but it's like not things that we think of as magic. It's like the person who can make boxed brownies really good, or the person who always makes the perfect cup of coffee no matter what the coffee beans are.
Yeah, like, you know, the person who makes coffee better than anyone else, even though they use the same grounds and the same coffee machine as everyone else in the office.
Or like the person who's like always makes perfect spaghetti. Like it's really small things. Like
yeah, the small magic.
So, and I call it practical magic because it's just like little non-grandiose things. And like for whatever fucking reason, all I can figure out in mine is that I'm good at fishing minigames.
Like, mine is that I'm in I have really good timing. I'm very punctual for things.
Fort's one of those people who, like, unironically can say, wow, we came at a good time, because he always comes at a good time.
I generally have good timing.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. There are times I'm just sitting there like, I really would have enjoyed not sitting here for as long as I did. But, yeah. Or like, when I was doing the Pathfinder thing and nailed a music cue.
I wish I could explain it to people better, but yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
A super dramatic part happened in our fucking Pathfinder campaign, and Fort somehow managed to time it to the song Will of the Scribes from Pyre, but if you know the song from, like, it's from the soundtrack disc, so you know that it goes from the acoustic to the bassy one, and like he timed the super dramatic moment right as the it switched between the versions. And I'm still upset because it was just like
really good.
I mean, like, I can't say I was upset. I was trying to process what had just happened because my character had just blown up. I'm not kidding. And then Ford did that. I was like, what the fuck?
Wasn't that the... Oh, no, hang on. That was before the blow up.
No, it's after. It was after the blow up part because it was when I blew up and the last thing I said was, I'm sorry, and then she broke out of the astral plane to fix everything. And the breaking of the astral plane was when the music changed.
Oh, okay.
I will never forget.
I thought it was a different plot moment.
Nope, it was that one. I will never forget. That's the one that, like, you were describing things and, like, we were all trying to process what had just happened, but Paul was just like, good timing. That's that one. I will never forget. Oh wait, why am I'm an idiot. I was like, oh, I drew a lily pad, forgetting that I have the water tablet on so I can just fight this thing. Sorry,
You're in a lake.
I'm in a lake. Yeah. He's looking at me also, like, but yeah, anyways, like, Ford just got that. That's what Ford's got. And
I've got that and I think, some other kind of cooking magic. I don't know.
So the thing is, I feel like your practical magic is that you have a general, like, a pretty good general understanding of most things.
I have an approximate knowledge of many things.
Yeah. And I know that, like, it seems silly to say it like that, but, like, it really is like a practical sort of magic sort of thing to me.
I love that line. It's from Adventure Time. Where it's just like, hello, was it like John the Human? That's almost my name! I have an approximate knowledge of many things.
I keep checking my phone like something's gonna happen and I'm gonna know it somewhere. I almost need to like Google how to make these really fast and
Oh yeah, how to grind.
ah, fuck, I don't know how to do that.
This is an angry clock. Just one more hit. Bastard.
Well, yeah, so just something to think about when you're doing stuff in your everyday life. Like you can identify your practical magic.
Yeah. Like, I know some people who, like, I would argue that, like, really good handwriting is, like, a type of magic.
Yeah.
Because, like, how do you do that with your hand? Like, casually, not like, I do calligraphy. It's more like, no, when you just, like, take notes, it, like, just looks really good.
Also, people who do calligraphy is a different type of magic.
Yeah, calligraphy is absolutely, that's one of those magical skills. You're like, I have tremors, it's magic. It's just straight up magic already.
The fact that I have the handwriting that I do, despite the fact that I have tremors, is something that to me I just don't understand. I've been
in defiance of God and everyone.
Yeah. It wasn't always that way. I used to have terrible handwriting, and then one of my favorite teachers in middle school told me that they really liked my work, but they couldn't read it. And overnight I changed my handwriting because I wanted to be able to read my stuff. That's all anybody had to do, apparently, just tell me my stuff had value. Before that, everyone was just like, I don't want to read it. And it was probably because they couldn't, but she just reframed it. So. And then I had handwriting everyone could read. Shout out to Mrs. Marcus's.
My handwriting has always been passable. I know it used to be really bad, and then my mom was just like, Alex, come on.
No, it was a 6th grade English teacher that we had half the time. Yeah. Mrs. Boney just made me type my stuff up so she could read it, which is fine too. It's also funny because that means I would stay after school to use the computer lab. Because that's the era we lived in.
We needed a computer lab because not everyone
Had a computer, or we weren't allowed to use it. Like, we ended up getting one fairly early because of my dad. Because Dad used it for work, but still I couldn't use it. Man, can you imagine asking my dad, like 4th grade me, be like, can I use the computer to write my bad poetry?
can't even use it to write good poetry, knowing your dad.
So my dad has blamed his dyslexia as the reason why he never read any of my work.
He wouldn't even bother to learn for you. What a dick.
It's so funny to me because he would tell me that he didn't like to read, but then he would read all of these like
He probably read The Art of the Deal like a cock.
no, like he would read like mental health stuff. Like he read the Bell Jar. I was like, how did you understand the Bell Jar and not understand your high schooler's like written report? I like the Bell Jar, by the way. It's written really well, but it's written very deeply, and you have to have a good emotional intelligence to read it. So, I mean, if you can read that, you can read my bad poetry, Dad. So I think my favorite, did you even read the book moment, was when my brother was complaining about having to read Fahrenheit 451, and I wanted to figure out why he didn't like it, so I read the entire book and then asked him what part he didn't like. It became one of my favorite books because I was trying to figure out why my brother didn't like it. I inadvertently helped him cheat though because I told him the entire plot of the book when he was asking me questions about it, and so he wrote his report based off of
Your Spark Notes!
Pretty much, he wrote his report based off of my summation of it, and he did pretty well.
Oh, that's good. For him.
The one thing that my brother was really good at is he had a very creative mind. Unfortunately, he used it for evil.
Use it for dumb.
But I still think also about the time that he didn't read Once and Future King. But he had to write a short story talking about like a transformation sequence and like a lesson that Art would learn from it. And so he wrote this very like wonderful and insightful like short story that like made it sound like he had read the book. And yeah, the ants. Once and Future King. Yep. And it's just like, how the fuck did you even do it? And it wasn't plagiarized. He only read a little bit, and then he just put all his effort into that little bit. And I'm still, like, pissed he was able to do it that well. Like, it was good, but he never read the damn thing. Yeah, I think he figured it out from, like... Honestly, I feel like he figured that all out from watching Sword in the Stone. Like, but... Like... Yeah, I kind of just, like... Yeah, I never got it. Sometimes I feel like the amount of work people go through to avoid doing the original work is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely astounding. The levels of laziness. Like, that's the fun thing I love about, like, you know, when I was learning about engineering, is just like, you learn that, like, efficiency is just, like, a form of laziness. It's being smarter than your problem.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like using the least amount of energy to do the most amount of work, right? And it's all about perspective. Like, well, how much is enough?
Yeah.
What is a good amount of work for this kind of problem? The amount of things that people will do Like, what was there's that managerial exercise that's basically like, if you want a job done like efficiently or whatever, like to find like the flaws in your process, give the assignment to the laziest person on your team. Like, give like the hardest problems to them because they'll find the easiest, fastest, or whatever way to do it.
So long as you check to make sure it's quality work on top of that.
Yeah, so basically you double check it, but like,
Yeah.
if nothing else, you'll get an inspiring insight out of it.
Yeah.
Because like, one of my favorite examples of that is when I worked in food service. I worked at Papa John's for a long time, longer than I'm happy with, but a good amount of time. And one of my favorite managers was basically just like, whenever I'm like worried about like someone stealing stock, I got the maneuver ball and these things push that shit around. Whenever I'm worried about losing stock and I like can't figure out who's doing it, I basically just hire the skeeviest person I can that's like applied, and I see who they make friends with. Because birds of a feather is like absolutely a thing in that, or thick as thieves or whatever. And yeah, and then I just fire them both.
I'm also all for people shoplifting when they need it, but normally it's like well-off white kids who do it.
Yeah, the people who steal from a fucking Papa John's, like, one, you're not stealing like money, you're stealing like Mountain Dew. You do not need Mountain Dew. It's not like they're taking breadsticks, like it's like they're taking stock of soda or boxes or whatever. Oh no.
Yeah, no, I know, I just wanted to provide that insight.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're not talking about that. Like I'm all like, if people have, like, we don't provide enough for people, so if they have to steal to get like 5, and fine, we could pay them more, and so they wouldn't have to resort to that.
Right.
We could provide them with all the resources they need because we have access to literally all of them. But if we're not going to do that, then it's in the right to steal it. Like, the fact that nobody follows our Constitution anymore, but it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and if you're starving, you can't do any of that, so buy our Constitution. Don't at me, you know I'm like...
Yo, do me a huge favor and not at me? Could you just like not at me?
So what was the thing you were making the joke about my necromancer that she needed to say?
There's a
Oh, the spell. Like
there's a spell that's like messaging.
Yeah.
It's like to send a specific message to a person, and it's like, don't fucking like at me.
Yeah. I don't need that today. Oh, more information on how we're going to do Borderlands. So we don't have Tales from the Borderlands, so you will not be seeing that. Is that your dad?
I don't know. That's what we found out. That's my father. He sent me a picture of a coaster he got, and he said, "Do you understand the reference?" And I do, because it's the gold disc they put in the fucking Voyager. Because my dad's a huge nerd. Not good. Gold phone. Golf? No, close. Phone, you know words. You know these are words.
But do you, though?
It's like disc. It's like, you mean discography? It's like, no disc. There's the word disc on its own. Alright. This enemy is bad. Yes, I'm a bat, and this is the bad one.
Are you sure it's the bad one? I think you're not doing what you're supposed to. You fight that back there. I can't remember if there's something over here, or if there's over here or over here.
Ooh, one up.
The one thing that I never really like about like the ladder in video games is you can never tell where the end of the map is. So like sometimes you run into a wall and you don't realize you're not moving for a while because it's hard to tell. Or maybe that's just me.
Come on.
I'm playing Okami, I'm just grinding for money. Because I want to get, Brown Rage or whatever it's called. And it's 2 million yen. And so I don't think people watching me just run in and out of battles or try to flush is very entertaining, so I'm just doing that off screen. Because my thought process is that when I go to Kamui, I'm not coming back, so I'm trying to get stuff done before that.
Oh my god.
Oh, you set her up. I'm gonna set her up. I don't know how I got there. I hope I didn't like get stuck. Look, I'm inside the fucking Okay, there we go.
Fort. I'm inside.
Gotta grind for the ability to poop.
To maliciously poop.
Yeah, I forget like what the I'm in the rocky now, but okay. I forget what the purpose of it ultimately is, so that's why I almost want to get it again.
It's a taunt that hurts, right?
Well, so does Golden Shower or whatever.
Yeah.
That also hurts. So
Does it yield you multiple things?
I can't remember. If it like yields you fangs or money or.
When you hit a boss with it, they get realistic.
Yeah. So I have to like. I could look it up in my guide, but I just want to like try and get it.
Oh no.
Also, like, I forgot that now that the water dragon isn't pissed off, I can just run around, and I have a water tablet, so I can run in the water like it's
Nothing.
nothing. I forgot that there's some outer land islands, that have stuff on them, so I'm running out there doing that too. I'm not sure I did this in my other game when I played it before. I feel like I didn't do this, I didn't realize that you could do it.
Bear.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a lot of shells.
I'm not kidding, like, I'm out on the far islands, I forgot that you could come out here. The only funny thing that I'm struggling with is sometimes I'm like, the shells are underwater and I'm standing on top of them being like, how do I hit you? Because I don't want to take the tablet off. We're gonna go to Kamui and you're gonna be like, take off the water tablet. I'm gonna be like Nico with the cat ring and just like, no.
You mean infuriating?
Yeah. You're like, Jinx, you don't need it. I'm not taking it off. Okay. Maybe I will.
Fight me.
Maybe I will need it. Who knows? I actually cannot remember if there's water or if
There is. It's all frozen.
I was gonna say I didn't know if it was all frozen, and so I can already run on it. It's called ice, not water.
It's called snow.
Freon, the despair of all frozen people. Ouch, game. Apparently that popped up.
Yeah, the title card for this was Despair of the Frozen People.
Yeah.
And it's like, what people? I'm just breaking bricks.
You don't know. Maybe you're breaking bricks that are holding up like a life support system. You don't know.
I think there's a city in the ice blocks in the background. It looks like it. Just kind of cool. That's a phone call. He did not text.
I told you! I told you!
You were true. Hello. Hey. It's going okay.
I can end this so you can go have your conversation.
Yeah. So,
Well, I'll just take over the stream and you guys can watch me grind for a little bit. So give me like 10 seconds to reset. Oh wait, I don't know how to reset that up. Never mind. I'll just grind on it because I don't know how to switch the inputs. Don't worry about it. Never mind. Well, we'll be.
Yeah. Not the most opportune, but I can take care of this real quick.
We'll be right back.
Oh no, this is literally like a 5-second thing.
Hi, Dad. Don't leave.
And we're good. That's that.
Thank you.
All right. Now I can go upstairs.
Have you guys been able to see me the whole time? I just realized he didn't end stream, he just switched inputs. Okay, I just was awkwardly, yeah, hi. The game might not be updated if you don't refresh, but okay, I'll just, you can see, okay, wow, I was just, like, zooming out. Side note, Sibs just let me know, that they've officially called it an insurrection. So, you know, the United States had that happen today. Still kind of happening. Apparently the Senate's gotten back together, though. Which is interesting, because, like, normally they don't convene this late, obviously, but they also some of them almost died today. Yeah. There's a part of me that's a little bit relieved that they're actually going to call it an insurrection. I was worried that they wouldn't. Also, this is what I mean by I'm out on the islands. Like, I'm way out here. I'm trying to find shit. So yeah, that's why I'm here distracting people. Fort was playing Shatter, but now he's arguing with his dad. Not arguing. So, again, Fort's been challenging his family to think critically, and if they refuse to, he's cutting them out of his life. Because he just doesn't have time for that. But he's trying to work with his dad, to help his dad understand privilege and all that, so this conversation, is happening. And I'm very proud of him. Like, I'm proud of both of them. Fort's dad for actually, like, wanting to have the conversation. And Fort for not backing down. So, that's why Fort's not gonna skip this phone call. It's incredibly important that he has it. So, yeah. Sibs, thanks for keeping me informed too. I will say, as white people, as much as we can, we have to be the ones who do those sort of conversations. Sometimes there's just no saving them, like my dad and mom. Like, sometimes you just can't get to them. The privilege is too ingrained, and so you just hope that they die off instead of actually doing more damage. I hope that I always put a little bit of doubt in my family's mind, even though I'm no longer in contact with them. But Ford is doing his best with his dad. He's given up on his mom, unfortunately, but he really loves his dad. I love his dad. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping he can learn. I really want to go up and tell him that it's been officially called an insurrection, but he doesn't want to know any more news for tonight, because we both got a little sick earlier. So, it's been a night. Anyway. Remember, the goal is 2 million. I'm not sure a faster way to get money. We thought fishing maybe, but like the amount of time it takes to catch one fish. Try to calm down enough to drive home. I get that. Like, what's stupid for me are, like, I went back to work. I logged back into my work computer and did spreadsheets. Because I needed something that, like, I didn't have to think too much about. I will probably have to redo the work I did, but I'm gonna... I logged back into work. I'm sorry, Tony. Actually, so I will admit, and I guess content warning for discussion of eating disorders, but I was having a rough day already because I had one meal today, and I was trying really hard to eat, but every time I tried to eat anything, it was bad. I'm really upset because my clothes don't fit anymore. And no matter what I do, I can't seem to eat enough, and I'm losing weight, and I'm really scared about what that's gonna mean. Also, there's no reason to have a mature response about it. Enough white people threw a fit that they stormed the Capitol. But yeah, I'm just, will say I gain 100,000 fairly quickly. So this will, like I said, this is mindless. But yeah, I'm trying not to focus on the fact that I'm unable to apparently do basic body functions to keep myself alive. You know, like you do. Anyway, yeah, I'm just, fuck. Oh, yeah. Unless AOC is talking, or any of the fab folks, I don't really care what the Senate has to say. Or Bernie. He's like the only crusty old white man I would like to listen to. Will say, I do want to shout out to all the black folks in Georgia who, again, save democracy, like y'all do. We don't deserve all the work you do. That was good news. It's Bernie with a chair, yeah. I do want to, like, with everything that's happened, I do want to remind everybody that we had an amazing victory thanks to a suppressed group of people again today. Just like in the general election with the runoff in Georgia, it was thanks to black voters that the results that we needed happened. So, shout out to y'all, and hopefully this doesn't cloud your victory. Okay. Sibs, I hate to ask you to do more research, or if you, I just wonder if you know. Did you hear anything about Yes, exactly what you just said. Question though for you: do you know, or have you heard anything more about the situations in Kentucky and Minnesota? Those are the two that I knew of that will also have insurrections today. I didn't hear anything. I honestly was nervous about Indy, but I didn't hear anything about it. I haven't, which I assume is good. Okay, the last I had heard is that people had broken into the state capitol buildings of both Minnesota and Kentucky. But unfortunately, I didn't hear any more news, so... I also didn't know what other states may have been affected by that. Kansas and Utah. Okay, thank you. I knew that there were more. Again, I'm really surprised that Indiana didn't do anything. We're a really red state with a bunch of really terrible people. Honestly, I'm gonna say that, like, as much as I'm trying to be a better person, I'm also a terrible person from Indiana, and that's not to, like, put myself down, it's just that, like, I've benefited so much from this institution that is here, and not done a lot to stop it until recently, that, like, I'm a terrible person from Indiana. I'm getting better, unlike the rest of the terrible people in Indiana, but, like, let's be real. You gotta own up to it before you can fix it. I just got a buzz. Well, this is completely different, but a funny text message to get right now. One of my friends just texted me and said, I think I just got a master's degree in Undertale. Which is hilarious. Let me scroll up and see what her master's actually is. Hang on a second. This is my friend Firefly Summers. She's a wonderful person. I love her. I forgot what she actually fucking... I feel terrible. I keep trying to keep... So she started out as a biomedical engineer and then switched... she... graduated with me in biomedical engineering. And then... Oh, she does user interface design and research. There we go. So yeah, Undertale. Actually, in more frustrating news, I found out a severely immunocompromised friend of mine was exposed to COVID. I don't know if they have it. I'm terrified for them. They've been sick, so I think they ended up with it. I'm getting to deal with that. Selfishly. I can't believe I haven't got it. Like, because, like I said, my state is terrible. I think the only reason I haven't got it is I stay home. I don't even go to the store hardly anymore. Fort does. But I'm also surprised that Fort hasn't gotten it. And not because he's not careful, it's just, again, he's client-facing and our city is terrible. So, I think we've both been very fortunate because we've tried to be as safe as possible, even when everybody around us isn't. Fort got the first round of the vaccination yesterday. And he reported that it wasn't bad, but his arm is hurt really bad today, which I guess is kind of consistent to the flu vaccine, if you're somebody who gets it every year like me. Oh, sorry, I need to reread this. My friend Firefly said the reason I got a master's was Undertale. Still, there are worse reasons to get a master's. Either way. I guess I should probably ask for more of an explanation on that. But it's one of those things that's just like, it's just such a like complete statement to me, I don't even need to get more of an explanation. Is there anything up here? No. Hey kitty, I fed you? Good. Yeah, so at least on the plus side, Fort's getting vaccinated. And then I'm guessing from the tier list that I've seen, I'm not going to be eligible to get vaccinated until in the earliest August, which is you do that. Eat for me. But yeah. And I'm not worried about being vaccinated in the later terms. I'm hoping that it actually gets to the people who need it, not just to the white folks. But I work from home and I don't leave. So I'm fairly low risk. The most risky behavior that I partake in is that sometimes I visit friends, but we all do the quarantine thing ahead of time. Sorry, I'm tired. I've been up since earlier than 5. Stop that. Stop that. Anyway, sorry, I don't really like have anything good to talk about, so I'm just talking about whatever comes to mind, and unfortunately whatever comes to mind isn't great. I just realized that I haven't had the sound on. I would love to hear good news. Never apologize for good news. Where's the top of my head? I need to turn my music on. Oh, you did end up getting somebody. Okay, cool. That's awesome. So the X-Arc's actually happening. I mean, that's a really cool, like, wig. Excuse me. That's a really cool wig, like, cosplay aside. Alright. I've not done anything on his outfit. I honestly think you should do casual version first, when you get the ears and the wig. Like some swim trunks or something. Get him like a I Heart Cats picture or something. I think you should just meme it. No tail needed? Does he not actually have a tail? I don't know anything about this guy other than what you've told me, so. He has one, but for unlike every other cat person, his robe hides his. I mean, that's fair. I hope eventually you can get yourself a tail, though, because I think that would be fun. Side note, just randomly, Twinny, if you know anybody who wants to cosplay Linkle and wants like a half-done costume, have them hit me up. Oh, for plot reasons, they hid his tail so you didn't know who it was. That's fair. Because personality's not going to give it away, huh? Sometimes, like, Square Enix and the way they hide people makes no sense. Oh, they actually did a really good job? I mean, like, I'm basing it off of, like, what like, memes I've seen, so, like, I obviously don't know how the game's actually been played. Also, hopefully, like, apologies for potential 14 spoilers. No one on this, like, who watches this has to be playing 14 besides me two anyway. Apologies in advance. Oh, that's good. Huh, well, that's a fun way to do it. I mean, yeah. Sometimes they have good writing, and sometimes they don't. So that's good. I'm glad that they did a good job with him. What class he was? Yeah. But, like, if you guys can do that, so can he. That's my excuse. Okay. So I'm trying to speed this up by using Assume to steal stuff as well, which is why I haven't taken the Thief Glove off, but it does put me at risk of losing ink, because I'm really bad at ink conservation. that's a cool weapon. I want one of those. Well, that's cool. So that helps out for people who have to play solo more often, right? Ah, come on. I'm trying to do Inferno, everybody. There we go. Kitty tank. Sounds good. I only like imagine him like popping out of the top of like a cardboard tank. Like, here I am. Here to help. How did I not already get that? Oh well. Cute. So I figured out exactly how much I pay, like, put into cosplay every year, like money-wise, between commissions and my own work. And I really need a less expensive hobby. Fort has always been super supportive and helps keep me, like, from feeling too bad about it, but it also does suck. Because, like, it's hard to, like, figure out when is too much, I guess. Like, in the sense of, like, someone like me, where, like, I'm not doing anything outside my means, but it's, I don't know, it's just weird to have, like, stuff. Also, that's cute. Yay, protective kitty tank. I actually got 2 final pictures of costumes that should have been completed last year, but 2020. Today. Season 2 opener Sakura. And Witch Mercury designed by Cuddy Sark. But done by Evil Cosplay. So that's really exciting. And then my friend Toriander did the opening 2 Sakura, so that's fun. Look, my whole thing is that if you are you can't get mad about spending money on yourself if you're living within your means. If you're constantly like, I guess my whole thing is that like, oh, you need to get ready to bed. Yeah, that's fine. Go to sleep. I just like, I want to remind people that it's okay to buy stuff for yourself, and sometimes it may feel like a lot, but, and like sometimes you don't have a lot of money, but you want something nice for yourself, and you should totally do it. But like, it just, don't prioritize. I guess I'm just calling out like for the folks that I know that would like prioritize having money for a con but forget for food money. Like, enjoy yourself, do the things that make you happy, but like, do remember that you have to eat and pay rent and stuff. But get yourself something nice once in a while. You sleep well, 20. I'll be here, trying to get money. I wonder if I could race Ida now that I can run on water, and I could just like run out onto the water and run beside him. I guess I could try that. Do you want me to send you a picture of Sakura before you go to bed? Because I know you follow Evilly too, so you've seen Mercury. I'll do that real quick. So one thing I love about working with Toriander is apparently we're about the same size, so she sent me pictures wearing it, which she asked first before she did that. She was trying to figure out how best to show me the picture. But like, I just love the fact that like we're so similar in size that she was like, I can try to like hang it off a mannequin, or I can put it on for you. And I was like, put it on, it'll be great. So I'm really excited to debut that. Whenever. Also, hilariously, in the pictures that she sent me when I showed him the fort, he thought that her wall in her craft room was a cosplay background, and I was like, no, that's just her wall. And I was just like, I'm also really envious of that because it's a really nice wall. Yeah, I'm excited for him too. I'm really intimidated by Witch Mercury, and I'm honestly kind of intimidated by Sakura. But Sakura is a little easier for me to do because Tori's also working on finishing the Sakura for herself, and we're gonna do like long distance Sakura together, and that'll be great. Also, anybody else who has Sakura cosplay, if you want to do long distance stuff, just hit me up. Or when it gets safe enough, not long distance, but right now everything's long distance because it's not safe. But yeah. Yeah, so, if you don't know what I'm talking about and are interested, I'll post pictures on my Instagram eventually. I don't have them yet, so I can't post them yet, obviously. So. That's not okay. Hi. I did the lightning thing, but instead of lightning, it did fire.
Okay.
So, you know. What to do. Do you want to take that back over playing Shatter?
Sure, yeah.
Alright.
I was only gone for half an hour.
Yeah, 20's gonna go to sleep. Fort's gonna take back over.
I see fucking dope.
We're talking about,
Hello.
costumes.
Ah.
Because I sent 20 pictures of Sakura.
Aha.
I turned on my sound, but we can mute it again.
Okay.
Can I tell you one thing about tonight that's actually kind of good?
Of course.
No, it's about the terrible stuff that's been happening though.
Of course.
They're actually calling it an insurrection, officially.
Dope.
For once.
I'm happy. Wow, he looks like he classed up his outfit.
That's Hayate. It's not Ida.
Oh, that's someone else.
It's his brother. Like, they're friends. Anyway. I was just gonna see if I can... How do you do this?
Like that, just once, and then it'll hit you.
Oh, that was fast enough. I was gonna try to run on the water next to him.
Yeah.
I just need to remember to... Nice.
Hey, baby!
Do you want to try to do this race?
Sure. The new super fast Hayate.
Yeah. I want to get enough
Praise
to get another ink. You have the water tablet on, so you can...
Okay. Where does he go? Let's see. Ah. Come back, asshole! I'm not done with you yet. Oops. Nope. Well.
No worries. This isn't a super important one, but you can feel free to try as many times as you want.
Now that I know where his laps go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. He laid on my chest for like a solid half hour earlier.
Oh.
You know, you saw it. You were there. It was right next to me. Oh, watching this dude's legs like. Dad avoided political topics.
That you should have brought him up.
I
I know you weren't ready for him tonight.
Oh no, it was also more like we were actually covering other stuff. Like it wasn't like him just kind of like dodging the issue. It's like we were talking about like my sister. We were talking about, you know, helping make sure that my, you know, stepbrother, you know, actually like falls out of the usual teenage boy trappings of just staying in his room playing video games all day. Like it was like good stuff. It just wasn't like extremely prominent stuff. Ah, you dick. So yeah, like it was a good conversation. It was nice. I talked to them about the problems about Ready Player One.
Oh, good.
Got him! Take that, asshole.
I think there's one more, technically, but I don't think I know what.
You caught up with me again? Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, that sucks.
More shit? Someone died, right?
Yeah, the person who got shot died.
Yeah, critical condition.
She was confirmed to be They're trying to figure out if she was a part of the protest and got shot, or if she was a civilian and got shot. They can't figure it out. So, that's fun. Anyway, I put that away. So, Ford's gonna switch back over to Shatter. I think it's still open. We need to mute my TV. And I'll go rename it again.
Welcome, welcomes. Yeah, luckily, it's also pretty easy to fix. So, we're gonna go try the audio now. And then we're gonna trade the video. And we should be in Shatter. 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 Good stuff. Wrong shift. We're going from watercolors in to modern aesthetics. Yep, that's a city. Interesting.
I am super upset that I couldn't work on cosplay today,
The upsetting news.
Yeah.
The understandably
yeah.
being upset.
I'm just a little short.
You're like, what, 5'4"? Not that short. You're like, that's not what I'm talking. Talk about how little energy I have for this shit right now. How dare you? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I fucked up.
I honestly thought that was about to go into like a riff from sorry.
I'd be so surprised if they didn't take inspiration. Because it does sound very subatomic.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I haven't made it 700,000.
You did what now?
I did not make it to 700,000.
Uh-huh.
I did get distracted a couple times.
I get that. You were having conversations.
Where's Charlie here? You can't tell if any listeners are out. Jesus Christ, no.
I enjoy this game a lot. Yeah, me too.
This is gonna be one of the funniest videos. Are we gonna like edit it, or are we just gonna?
I'm gonna have to edit it for sure.
Just like you. I mean, you probably don't need to post the Okami stuff.
But there's conversations.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's a pendulum. Get it.
I love the fact that like we took a nap and it's like only been a couple hours and I'm exhausted.
You're understandably exhausted.
This week. Beautiful feeling.
He's a beautiful asshole. I love him.
So he does this thing where he sleeps on the porch chest now. Like, and it's just.
He doesn't just sleep on my chest. Like, what gets me is the fact that he'll, like, fight for it.
Yeah, like, honestly, it's really funny to me because he's just like, if porch chest is available and he has the option, he will try to sleep on it. And so in the mornings sometimes when, like, I'm rolling out of bed and, like, Fort's starting to wake up, Siegel will just be like, aha, it's open now, and just, like, bat Fort down and then sit on him.
Like, he'll approach me, and he'll stare at me until I lay on my back. And he's like, okay, good, you've assumed the position.
He's, like, pushed on you.
He is assertive.
It really is. I need to try to take a picture of him because, like, yeah, it really is cute.
In a way.
But it's also just like sometimes, like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and Fort will be fast asleep and Siegel will just be sprawled out right on his chest. And I'm just like, okay. For comparison, when Sieg decides that he wants to sleep next to me, he just cuddles up with, in like the crook of my elbow and like pushes himself along the length of me and like he just 4 foot length, my 5 foot length. And I roll around a lot more, so like I think he does that because I know he knows I'm gonna move. But I do find it funny that like with Fort there's no choice. Fort just gets the 15-pound cat on his chest. Still so far away on money. They're 700,000. 1.3 million more. I feel a little bit like you and your friend Devil May Cry.
Right.
But like, I don't have a really good way to get rid of it. I can't just be like, I'm just gonna be Virgil.
I'm just gonna be a good boy and kill things. Like, well, I mean, you're a dog. You're automatically gonna be
I'm
a
a
good
great
boy.
boy.
The best. Not even a boy.
Great, yes.
Mother to us all. Not saying boys can't be mothers. Just saying. Pronouns have been established.
You know what? They haven't though, because people keep like messing it up. I'm always wondering what pronouns they're actually using for Ami, because some people refer to her in this game as male, because pure new. But then that she's also mother and Okami, so like it's an interesting. Pronouns don't matter. She's a god. I want whatever you have.
Bear.
You had a bear.
Bear.
You didn't die, you little shit.
You chatty motherfucker. Die.
I have no use for your measly pronouns, mortals.
Revenge starts in a secret passage.
It's so weird to see these songs associated with the actual levels.
Yeah, because you're just used to singing in the car.
Yeah, hearing it in the car.
That's very true. Hearing with your ears. Seeing with your ears.
So, Sid just said, I have no use for your measly pronouns, mortals, which is what I'm now going to imagine Jinx saying anytime anyone asks.
I have outgrown the use of pronouns.
I need to post. You know what? If you're okay with it, next time I post Rosgrees, can I use that line? Because like one of the biggest debates is if Rosgrees is non-binary or a being that doesn't get pronouns.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Like,
I think it's the second one. As much as I would love to claim the demon of Rosgrees as a fucking
Non-binary
non-binary icon.
Non-binary hero demon.
Hero demon.
Clan wrecker.
Yeah.
Gender wrecker.
Yeah, that's why I was like I would love to claim Raspberries and like make it so like people have to deal with the fact that like the person whose name means the clan record is non-binary, but I'm confused. Oh, it's a cosplay I have.
Yeah, Raspberries is from Ace Combat 5.
Yeah, it's their
God of Misfortune.
So it's weird because they're like simultaneously the God of Misfortune and the God of Rebirth. It's like when people fuck up bad enough, they show up and they're like, everyone dies! And I'll just fix it all later.
If I may nerd out for a moment.
Yeah.
When history witnesses a great change.
Don't go to the poem, you little shit!
I will go precisely to the thing that they quoted like 18 times in that game.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I figured out how to fight these things. Just get behind them.
Well then. I do love the look of this stage, though. And these caverns are so pretty.
You know what? I'm kind of surprised I've never shown you a picture of Raspberries. I was just like the actual character. There's only one picture of them. And then there's like 4 pictures of their head. And that's on it. I'm gonna do something silly. Like, it's not super important, but it's silly. If you're wondering who Raspberries is, you can actually see Fort do a full playthrough of Ace Combat 5 on our YouTube channel.
Oh snap, you did it!
Yeah. And you can see the character that I'm referring to, and the one picture that they show up in.
In somebody's storybook.
In someone's storybook. And then you can also see the poem that he's referencing, because that's actually a super important part of the game. You can just die already.
Yes.
Yeah, and the YouTube link can be found in the wherever the link parts.
It's underneath the video.
Underneath the video! But if you don't go that way, it's Hijinks Gaming on YouTube.
Yep.
And you'll know you're in the right spot if the icon is 2 people who look like they fell out of Bioshock.
Yeah, and you find an Ace Combat playlist.
Oh, also you can find an Ace Combat 5 playlist that says Fort plays Ace Combat 5.
I think we have the Ace Combat Anthology playlist.
Oh, okay, that's probably what it is. But you can look for Ace Combat 5 in it.
Yep. It's 2 or 3 episodes.
5 is pretty quick.
3, and then 4 is 2 episodes. And then, let's see here. 6 is 1.
Because you powered through that game.
Yeah, I was gonna... I'm not giving that thing more than 1. Are you serious? 0 is 1. I powered through that one as well.
Sibs, it should be linked right underneath the video. If it's not, I'll type it in the chat. Let me get the link for it. Yeah.
It's amazing that this game is only like 100 and something, 170 megabytes. Like, it's a tiny, tiny game.
It's hard to find my the fucking... It shows up, I just have to like dig for it. I think I followed the channel because I know or something. Right there it is. Here is our YouTube channel. You can see a bunch of Okami playthroughs. Oh, you found it? Okay, well, for other people, it's in the chat now.
Oh boy.
You need to rebrand your YouTube? I don't know if we're doing it right, but we're doing it.
We're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it, okay.
I was making the joke with Fort that I still kind of feel bad that everything is branded under my name and he does most of the work.
But you got a good name.
But yeah.
Like, I'll brand things under Fort when I actually feel like I can find a good Fort branding. The most I got is the Chili of Fortitude, which is hilarious given how low my Fortitude score is.
Yeah.
I have the constitution of a fucking sick bag.
But yeah, all of our videos to date that we have are up, with the exception of things that are under 2 weeks old, because those will be up on Twitch. Effectively, if you're looking for a video and it's not on Twitch, it's on YouTube.
Or we didn't record it because we didn't think about it.
Or we didn't record it. That's for basically anything before June of 2020. That's where those videos are going to be gone.
Yeah, like Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Yep. Death Blossom. Oh boy.
Oh, it's your personal YouTube that you haven't made videos in time, so it's not long enough so that it's... Oh, okay. He also said, he put laughing at you for it. Because of your joke.
Yeah. I'm hoping the joke.
Yeah. Not because he's...
Not because of my disorder.
Yeah.
You know, the disease, the funny one.
I know this wasn't the intended hair color that we were going for, because we had to, like, change plans halfway through the dye job. But I really like how it came out.
Me too.
I think you did a really good job.
Thank you.
Soliding it. And we'll have to develop it for the next time you blueprint it. So, Fort's been dyeing my hair for basically as long as we've been dating. Maybe a little less time than that, but basically the entire time. And I have never used developer with the dye. I've used...
You always use the semi-permanents.
Yeah, I've used developer with the bleach, but never with the dye. So your boy didn't read the instructions when I handed all the stuff to Fort, and was just like, okay, just put it on my head.
Well, yeah, I was like, this is permanence. Is that okay? You're like, should be.
Yeah, I didn't read the instructions, and so none of it turned out, and it all just washed out of my head.
Yeah, it was white, and then it stayed white.
And Fort just kind of looked at me and was like, something's wrong. And so he dug all the instructions out of the trash and was just sitting there reading it. It was just like, we needed to do something different. And so, I appreciate that he was just like, I need to learn how to do this better. And I was sitting over in the corner being like, this is all my fault, and I'm taking none of the blame. No.
You're like, I just bought this, and I'm like, yep.
So it was actually really nice because your first reaction was that the dye didn't work. I appreciate your stout resolution to my knowledge of things.
Well, like,
I know, like, why would it be different than any other time we've done hair?
Right.
So what's funny? He said we'll make a hairdresser out of Fort after all. What's funny about that is Fort cuts my hair and dyes my hair. He is my hairdresser.
And photographer and
photographer and emotional support buddy.
Partner. Term's partner. I'm your partner. I'm not an emotional support buddy. We're a bit more than that. Probably because we're engaged.
Making up for all the time you called me your roommate.
Oh, there you go. I'm your emotional support roommate. I'll take that one. Oh wow, I've already beat my high score. Awesome!
I still love when we hadn't figured out like how our relationship was gonna go, that your panic reaction was to call me your roommate. like sometimes you did that when we didn't even live together.
Yeah, it was like I don't know, just explain partner.
Emotional support fiance. Emotional support finance. Got it.
Emotional support amphora.
But yeah, no.
Yeah,
you still need to hear the engagement story too.
What?
I know it's in one of the other videos, but I can just go through it again if you want. Like, at this point, yes, okay.
Is this my favorite one? I think this is my favorite one.
I'll do it after Fort's favorite one, if it is Fort's favorite one.
If this is Neon Mind, then hell yeah. I love the song. We're gonna be playing for a bit, so you can talk.
All right, so in 2018.
Long ago in the before times.
Yeah. In 2018, Fort turned 30. And I turned the entire year into a celebration of him. No, 19. 2019.
Yeah, I was like, Jinx, I am 31.
Sorry, 2019. Fort turned 30, and I turned the whole year into a celebration of him, and celebrating like that milestone. Because I wanted to. In that year, I'd also decided, for whatever reason, that I wanted to get engaged.
You were tired of not being engaged, and so you resolved to fix it.
Yeah. And I was wondering if Fort would ever realize, and Fort would do it, but he didn't, so I just took the matters in my own hands, because that's just what I do.
Things were still kind of uncertain.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And no, it's no judgment to Fort, I was just giving him a chance to do it, and when he didn't do it, I was like, okay, I'll do it. Because the worst that he can say is no, and the best that he can say is yes. And I made all of these contingency plans for when he said no. That should tell you how my life is. I didn't make any plans for when he said yes, so...
You were expecting to be like, are you sure?
Yeah. So anyway, so I decided to propose to him on our engagement, or not,
our anniversary.
Sorry, I'm so tired. Thank you. You help me out when I mess up really often, apparently. So yeah, I decided to propose to him on our anniversary, and then had this huge fiasco with the rings, in the sense that we still don't have a ring that fits Fort, so we're just not going to do rings anymore.
And I'm also not the biggest fan of rings in the first place. We tried.
Yeah, we tried. It didn't work out. So now the rings stay in a box inside my curio cabinet.
They're beautiful.
They're wonderful and beautiful. They do not fit him. They fit me. But it's weird to wear an engagement ring that doesn't have a match. So, anyway. So yeah, there was a huge fiasco with that. That stressed me out all the way up to it.
It still stresses you out.
Stigma on chains, yeah, but Fort also doesn't wear necklaces.
I don't wear a lot of jewelry because I work in healthcare, and also because I'm not used to wearing a lot of jewelry.
Yeah. If Fort, I think, wasn't doing community health stuff, maybe he would practice wearing a necklace, but he would have to take it off enough times that it's not worth it for him to wear it when he does work. Granted, yes, we're in a pandemic, but he still goes into the office and does work.
Yeah, I still, anything that I need to disinfect.
Yeah. And actually, it makes it harder now, so he would have to disinfect his necklace.
Yeah, the ring thing was especially difficult because, shortly after we got it worked out for the most part, it was like, okay, you want to wear that? And I was like, well, I have to disinfect my hands a lot and wear a lot of gloves and...
Yeah, anyway, he's not going to wear a ring and he's probably not going to put on a chain, so here, I found it.
It's a beautiful display piece.
So yeah, I didn't have the rings, so I printed out a picture of them because that was all I was able to get from the damn ring maker.
In black and white. In
black and white because well, no, it wasn't color, it's just they're silver on black, so it looks black and white.
Yeah.
And the one cool thing was that a mutual friend of ours, whom Alex introduced me to, so that's how I got to meet her, offered to make a box that matched the rings. And I had that. So I had an empty box with a piece of paper in it. And also, Fort pointed out that was the day that I interviewed for the job I currently have. So when they asked me if I was nervous, I was like, no, because I'm still focusing on the fact that I'm proposing to my partner tonight. That was pretty funny to reflect on. And so I did that. I went from work to my friend's house to get the box because she was intending to drop it off before she went to work that morning, and then overslept and didn't go to work, so she didn't come to the house. So I woke up and was like, did someone steal the box? And then she messaged me later, so I went over to her house and set the box up best I could. And so my whole plan was, Fort and I always take selfies on our anniversary. We do the anniversary selfie. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, I know. I've never seen the Christmas tree that they set up inside the courthouse, which is downtown. For Christmas displays go, the courthouse Christmas tree is really pretty. I had just never seen it, despite living in Bloomington for as long as we had.
The only reason I had seen it is because I used to work in the courthouse and got to see it set up, in person. And see how many times they drop the ornaments, because that shit's funny as hell.
Yeah. And so, I was like, oh, I have a perfect idea. We'll go to the courthouse, which is an important place for Fort in his, whole journey. And this year has been celebrating his journey. And it'll be a perfect excuse because I'll be like, let's take a selfie in front of the Christmas tree I've never seen. And Fort will be like, yeah.
Let's get in there.
And then
We'll do it after dinner.
Yeah, and then we'll do it after dinner. So if he says no, we already had a good dinner. And then we can just go home and pretend it didn't happen. This was my plan. I was set.
It was a pretty good plan.
It was a pretty good plan, but I should have known it wasn't going to work that way when I started out the day with the box isn't here, and the person who was supposed to deliver the box isn't feeling well, so you're going to have to go get it later. Like, the whole day was like started off with, you're not going to plan, Jinx. Why do you think anything else is going to go to plan?
Don't forget the best part.
We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet? Okay, go ahead.
If I miss it, please, if I miss it, make sure you say it, okay?
Okay.
I guess what the best part versus my best part. So yeah, we go out, and our reservation's at like 7, and we're a little bit early, and we're walking around downtown and looking at like stuff and just kind of hanging out, and I'm doing that thing where I'm spending the entire time with my hands in my pockets because I don't want to like lose the box, and it looks. And Fort later told me that it just looked like I was cold the entire time, and he kind of felt bad about that.
Because it's early December?
Yeah, because our anniversary is December 11th. So, you know. So then I mentioned, hey, you know, after dinner, why don't we do our annual selfie in the courthouse? And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. The courthouse closes at 6.
Yeah, we can do it after dinner. No, we can't.
And I was just like, oh no. Oh no. Fuck. So Fort's like, let's go now! And I was like, fuck! What do I do? And he was
You can't just go before dinner.
Yeah, I was just like...
That'd be crazy. I'm not emotionally prepared.
Yeah, and I was like trying to make up like... So I was running through options in my head like, okay, maybe I just don't propose in the courthouse and then I just like find another time to do it, but I don't know how to like get him to go somewhere that isn't our house after dinner. Because we're gonna get like dessert and everything at the place, so like, how do I do this? So I couldn't come up with a plan B fast enough, so I was like, okay, I guess we're just gonna do this. And so Fort was telling me about how they built the tree and dropping ornaments and we're standing up by it. And I forget everything that I was going to do. I had a speech prepared, I was gonna do the one knee thing, I was gonna be all like romantic. Instead I was just like
uh-oh.
Yeah, instead I just panicked and I go like this and I shoved the box in his hand and then like got really interested in the Christmas tree.
You were just like looking real hard and I was like, well, this is a nice box, I like this.
And I'm just like, and he's just like, oh, I like it. And I was just like, open the damn box, Fort. Like
I was holding it, I was like, oh, it's a box. And you're like, yeah, it's a box. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I open it up and I look at the paper inside and there's like a little handwritten note and there's like a paper and like some canvas. And the paper was this big black square with some white stuff on it. I was like, Jinx, you are not pregnant.
Yeah, the first thing out of his mouth, he doesn't even open it. The first thing out of his mouth is, are you pregnant? And I was like, well, you would know.
No, I said you're not pregnant.
Yeah, you're not pregnant. It was just like, okay, I had literally gotten sterilized 2 months before, and I'm ace. And he would know.
I would know. Which is why it's so funny that like my first thing in my brain was like, this looks like an ultrasound picture. So I thought it was like a joke, like card, or just kind of like, we ain't having babies. There's another cat at home.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there was, because we had just gotten Turin.
Like 2 months prior.
Yeah, but, like, I do love that one of the, like, the Fort's instant reaction to seeing a black square in a box is, hey, we're having a kid. And so, cat ultrasound. Here's a cat. So yeah, so Fort says that, and I was just like, open the paper, and then he, like, reads the note.
It's very cute. It's a very nice note.
And he just like, and he goes, oh, yes. And I'm like, just like simple as that. Like, no hesitation or anything. And I looked at him and I went, wait, what?
You know? Yeah, we can go on more adventures if you want, yeah.
Because that's what, like yeah, it just said.
Jinx didn't say, do you want to get gay married? It was like, do you want to go on more adventures with me? And I was like, yeah. Simple enough.
And I just stared at him and I was like, you want to think about it more? Like, I didn't know how to react to him saying yes immediately.
Jinx wasn't expecting me to say yes.
I wasn't expecting him to
funny.
say yes, so I didn't know what to do when he said yes.
Jinx asked a question that they knew they wanted, like, what answer they were looking forward to, but had no idea what answer to get.
Yeah. And we talked about it, like, why I thought he wouldn't say yes, but it wasn't like I thought he would say no, and then the relationship was over. I just was kind of under the impression that he didn't care to get married, so he'd be like, nah, we don't need to do that, and I was like, fine.
Also good.
Which I don't even know if we're actually ever officially going to get married, but like, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I did that, and Ben got really upset and immediately told him that I didn't do anything right, and I was really upset.
You're like, I had a speech, and I was like, you didn't need a speech. You're like, but I had one!
Yeah, I was like, I know I didn't need any of the stuff that everybody else does when they propose to people, but I had it!
You fucking beat yourself up over that still.
Still.
And I don't
It
care.
doesn't. And it's just like one of those things that I don't think, if you know me as a person, you will understand that the way that I proposed to Fort is probably the most me thing that's ever happened, and I'm still upset by it.
You're just upset because it wasn't what you wanted.
Which is the most me thing to happen.
Because it's like, you're like, Jinx, it's a proposal. It's kind of about you too, but like.
I guess one of my favorite things about that though is after he said yes and we like hugged it out and everything, the bell tower went off and we had to
signifying that it was like
6 o'clock at night and we should leave, but it was also like, hey, we've been dating for 6 years, and you said yes right as it started to chime 6 years. So that was really cute. Again, Fort's timing is impeccable.
It's pretty good.
So like, that was cool. And then we went to dinner and
It was really good.
it was really good. And like halfway through dinner, because Fort had given me my anniversary gift earlier today, and it was this really cool charcuterie plate that's like Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
And I love this plate, and I use it whenever you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you see it every time we do a big meal, because I use it for the main platter, because I love this fucking plate. But Fort was like halfway through dinner, and we were just like chatting about things, and he like puts everything down and stares me directly in the eye and just goes, "I got you a plate!" Like he was so upset.
Yeah, like you engaged, and I got you a plate.
Like, Jinx, you went through all this shit, and I got you a plate. And I was like, I like my plate though. Like I really like my plate.
But Jinx, I got you a plate.
So every so often I'll just look at Fort. And
You got me rings,
Yeah.
like hand engraved rings, and I got you a plate.
I like the plate. But yeah, that's so. Our engagement was kind of the most us thing that's happened to us so far. But yeah, I got him a plate. Or he got me a plate, and I got him some rings. Then I need to find a better way to display it, but right now they live in your cabinet.
It's a pretty good way.
Yeah, we don't have anyone over, so it's not like,
But Jinx, the guests we don't have.
yeah.
What will they think?
And just sort
Scandal.
of fun fact for those of you who are interested in what their rings had engraved on them. It had symbolism from near Gestalt. So when you wonder why I am so judgmental of fucking Automata, it's because of how much Gestalt means to Fort and I in our relationship. Like, I'm not kidding, the engraving on the inside of the rings are spell words from the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, and then so Fort has the Phoenix motif on it from the Phoenix weapons that are the strongest and hardest weapons to get. So that's a bit of a, when we're making the joke about fishing minigames, the only reason Fort was able to ever get the last Phoenix weapon is because we did that together, because we need to complete all the missions and some of those are fishing minigames.
A disturbing number are.
So because I was able to do that with him, he got to see the final ending, and I got to experience it everything. So that was the reason behind his. And then mine was Devil and Popola's staves with a lunar tier in between. So Devil and Popola are two of the main characters. They're twins. They carry moon crescent staves, and they're really cool. And then the lunar tier is an important flower and symbolism in the game. So I really thought it out. Really thought it out.
And then the ring seller fucking
And then the
sucked.
ring seller sucked. The engraver did not suck. The engraver was perfect. The ring seller sucked. And I want to make that different because when I post about it, I don't tag the ring seller, but I do tag the engraver. Which I guess should tell you about like if I actually cared enough, because I always credit people, but like I cannot give any credit to that ring seller. I don't want anybody to give them business. Actually, if you give me a second, I'll beat this and then I can pull out what those spell words were and what they mean. Or I don't really have to. You know, I think I still have this thing. Then I'll have to put probably things in it. Oh yeah, it's the Sol. Oh god. The Sol. Fuck, I can't read it anymore. You used to be able to read it. Can you pause? It's the very top thing.
Basal, Atessera, Solkar, Mahes.
Which, yeah, means for strength, experience, recovery, and luck.
Electric Avenue. I didn't realize we're on a boss so soon. Hope you don't mind that noise, you're gonna hear it a lot. Yeah.
This year we ate food and watched movies.
It was pretty good. Lots of good food, decent movie.
I can't even remember what movie we watched.
Our anniversary?
Yeah. It's been that sort of thing.
Was it like a Ghibli movie?
No, you didn't want to cry.
It wasn't Clue.
And it wasn't Dread. Like we said we were going to watch it. Did we end up actually watching it?
I don't think we did then. I think we just played games.
Yeah, I think it
It feels like Animal Crossing and this was chill.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Kaboom.
Uh-oh. 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 It's stuck. Like, it keeps going through, like, there we go. Okay, I can hit it.
Oh no.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Yeah, macaroons. Well, we have macaroons because we're going to try them. The new flavors.
Yeah.
And then you have a snickerdoodle.
Yeah.
I ate my s'mores bar after lunch.
Oh good.
Because I was like, I want that and I don't want to fall asleep with the s'mores bar in my tummy.
I will probably have a snickerdoodle tomorrow because my appetite's an absolute shit today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to take like 3 bites of it and be like, well, I can't eat it anymore. The cookie is ruined, I guess. Also, I would like to say that my partner is the one who gets a shot and then brings me a cookie.
Yeah, I got my COVID vaccine, first dose. And I was like, I'm getting stuff and I'm not getting it alone.
I just still think it's funny. It's like, you went and got a shot, but I got a cookie. Obviously.
And macarons.
And macarons. But obviously, I will get the shot when I can, but...
That asshole what I do is just like, I'm gonna get myself sweets and you can't have any.
It wouldn't be that you can't have any, it would just be like, I understood that I didn't go do a big scary thing. I stayed at home and did...
Well, you didn't have the option to do the big scary thing.
Yeah, but you did it.
Trust me, I wanted this shot.
Yeah.
I hate shots, but like...
I mean, but that's the same way with me and the flu shot. Like, I don't like shots, but I go get it, like, with no hesitation at all, ever.
Yeah.
And the same thing will be with the COVID vaccine. So, like, I'm the same thing. It's just, like, like, that's what I mean. Like, the fact that, like, you went and did it, you didn't complain, you deserved a cookie. Just like when my friends that are scared of shots go to get their flu vaccines and we take them all out for ice cream. Like, you get a reward for doing the scary thing. I don't care how much you wanted to do the scary thing, you get a reward for it. Because it's important. So when you guys get your COVID vaccine, which I'm just going to say
When it's available to
when
you.
it's available to you and you can get your COVID vaccine, make sure to treat yourself afterwards. You deserve it. Oh, I didn't know you could reflect those back at them.
What is it?
When they shoot projectiles down from the top, you can reflect it back down at them, and that can bring them down if you don't have them.
Oh, cool.
Honey, that will be treat enough. Well, fair, but it's gonna be one of the best days of your life. You're gonna have to do it twice though, because both are a 2-dose vaccine.
Yep.
So you're gonna get one, and then a month later go get the second dose.
I wanted the life and the thing. Hidden.
But yeah, I guess they'll both be good days.
Yeah, I'm gonna be extremely happy when I get my last dose. Because
I'm-
I got the Moderna.
I'm excited for you to get your last dose because I'm more worried about you than I am about me. 2 of the best days of your life. Very good. I agree. Yeah, so Fort got the Moderna vaccine, so if you are watching this and are wondering about it, depending on when you're watching this, if you have questions about it, Fort will be able to tell you about his reaction to the first or second dose. Feel free to ask questions and ask about the experience if that'll help you out.
Yep.
If you're worried about like the vaccine and how it was made and everything, I highly suggest you looking at the research coming out of the CDC and the FDA,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of research getting done about that shit.
as well as the research from Moderna and Pfizer. I'm normally like anti-big pharma, but I'm also really pro-vaccine. And
You can respect and criticize both, like, at the same time.
yeah, but the reason that I bring that up is that the research. I also work in quality, specifically in the regulatory area, and I used to be in contract pharmaceutical manufacturing. So I actually know a little bit about it, and I trust the information that I've seen reported, and really excited for the prospect of more mRNA vaccine. I can't say it.
mNRA?
mNRA.
No, mRNA.
Yeah, the fucking DNA, but with an M.
mRNA.
There you go. I'm excited for more the potential for more vaccines based off of that. It might be able to improve the effectivity.
Efficacy?
Thank you. I can't. Thank you. I cannot speak. Something. So just like a comparison, the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines have over 90% effectivity.
Efficacy.
Thank you, sir. The flu vaccine normally has about 60 to 70. So these are like highly, highly effective vaccines. And that is just great news. And it's also really, it's just the whole research behind it is really fascinating. One thing that I haven't been able to do enough research into is the populations that they administer to and the representation of the disenfranchised groups. I did hear that there was a large Latino population in one of the test groups, so that's really
Big
good.
Moderna, I think.
I always get the flu even with the vaccine, but it's because not enough people get it and it mutates too fast. For the flu vaccine to actually be effective in the way it needs to be, that like 70% or more of people have to get it. And normally it's about 40%.
I'm so curious about the flu season this year.
I
So
may not
curious.
get the flu for once. I've gotten the flu like every year for the last 4 years.
And you get it bad. When
And
you get the flu, it fucking sucks for you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, like honestly,
I like how you apologize for getting the flu.
you have to take care of me.
That's
I'm
not
like
that
out
bad.
for 4 days. Like
So?
sometimes I don't even wake up for 4 days.
Because I have Crohn's. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I get like, Port's not kidding. I hate getting sick, but when I get the flu, I'm like not even awake. I get the really bad shakes. So much so that like I slept on the couch and the couch vibrated. And then I also just
I think that was just you having the flu. I don't think the
Yeah.
couch was shaking that much.
but like, or maybe I just couldn't tell because that was it.
Yeah, because you were sick.
Yeah. And then I just wasn't conscious. Like I didn't eat for 3 days, then you wake up. It wasn't that I wasn't hungry, I just wasn't awake.
Also, you weren't hungry because I said, like, you want food? And you're like,
Get me up long enough to ask if I want food, and I would go back to bed.
Pretty much.
And hilariously, in 2019, I got it twice.
You got it early, and then you got it.
I got it in January, and I got it in December. And then 2020, I got sick. Luckily, didn't get the flu as bad in early 2020, but I did get sick after OhioCon.
Yeah,
I always
you
get sick.
get con crud, and I generally don't.
So yeah, I got sick again after OhioCon. And then the world shut down.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
my
Uh-oh.
hope is that this year I don't actually get the flu and don't have to lose a week of my life.
Wouldn't that be something?
Well, we're in a good trend right now because this is normally the time of year I get it. And we're kind of almost through the first week of January, and I haven't got any flu symptoms yet. I'm glad you did get the flu in 2020. I think I did. I think that's what I got in January, unfortunately, but it didn't take me out as bad as 2019 did.
I got bronchitis.
Yeah, 4 got bronchitis.
But that's because I went to an airport in February. And yes, it was bronchitis because it got cured with antibiotics.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had, COVID before it was documented. Like, I got bronchitis. Doctor saw it. Doctor prescribed. I got better.
Yeah, no, that was actually something that we talked about because when Ford started explaining symptoms, we didn't know yet what COVID was.
Yep.
He went and he was like, I don't know what I have. And luckily, I think the doctor was relieved when he was like, it's bronchitis.
Like, because yeah, it was late February it was mid-February, and the doctor was just kind of like, I was like, I got this. It's like phlegmy and stuff like that. It's like, is this like the flu? And he's like, nah, that's bronchitis.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even like, he was just like, yeah, you got this.
There was just the brief concern because you did get sick after going to an airport.
Yeah, like late March, I was like, did I have? No, it was bronchitis.
Yeah.
Like, it was a thing that kind of resolved itself kind of quick.
Yeah, but there was just the brief moment where we thought he might have had it, and then it was like, nope, bronchitis. Got treated with antibiotics. Was gone in 2 days. It was a miserable 2 days, but you got.
It was bad.
And I know for a fact I had the flu even though it wasn't diagnosed because it was the same symptoms that I had the year before, and the year before, and the year before.
Yeah. Flu's pretty easy to nail down. There's the two kinds, and they're both bad.
Yeah. I will say though, the first year that I got the flu really bad, which I think was 2018, actually restarted my tremors. I had them under control, and then I started having them really bad after my flu phase. So much so that Fort thought I might have had neurological damage because he had never seen it before. And I just forgot that I had tremors early on until I started thinking about it later. But yeah, flu sucks, get your flu shot. COVID sucks, get your COVID shot if you can. Of course, if you're a population that has generally been exploited by the medical system, I do understand your hesitance to get the vaccine. I will implore you to get the vaccine, but I'm also another white person telling you to do that. So, do what is best for you. But I hope we can all get vaccinated together.
Okay. Your vaccine is probably what's best for you.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand the mistrust of the medical system, 100%. I learned a lot about it in my studies.
You also have to combat it every day with the population you work with.
Yeah. Institutions suck in regards to this. It's not a lot of fun.
I want to acknowledge it while also imploring, but I just don't want, because they tend to lump certain populations in as anti-vaxxers, and I can tell you for sure they're not anti-vaxxers. They're this institution has constantly exploited our people, or ignored them. Like the fact that Africa isn't scheduled to get the COVID vaccine until 2023. We need to do something about that. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, big ugh. Also, and this is not to fearmonger, it's just to remind, there is another strain of COVID. There's a mutation of COVID that's coming out,
It's been documented in the UK.
Yeah,
and in Europe now.
It's spread through Europe. It's apparently far more contagious and infectious than the current version, which is hilarious considering how infectious the current version is. But so just this isn't a hoax, everybody. If you still think it's a hoax this largely, just go jump off a cliff.
You deserve everything you get.
Yeah, but For everyone else, it's another great way to look at talking about racism, honestly. But if you look at it, so the strain was isolated coming from the UK, but you don't see any travel bans. They're happening now because it's spread fast enough.
Like, they weren't doing any travel bans, and like the UK ministers and stuff were like, a lot of the pundits are like, stop calling it the UK virus, even though they were calling it the China virus, and
yeah,
saying it's not racist if it comes from China. And it's like, kinda.
So just a reminder that like that's the difference, and like you don't hear it being, yeah.
It doesn't get the same sort of yellow fever.
Yeah. Oops. What am I doing? Yeah. You actually like I hardly hear anybody even talking about it. So. All right. Enjoy your chores. Like, hopefully it keeps you busy. And if we log off before that, I'll text you. He's off to do chores, but he wants to come back. I'm leaving the TV on just in case he gets done and we're still working.
If I'm still on this.
Yeah. You haven't posted it?
Of course.
I'm almost up to $900. I'd like to get to $1 million. But then I still have another $1 million.
Ain't that just the way? This thing's getting so damn close. Space, please.
So I know there's that task from work that I was assigned right at the end of the year last year that I said I would do in the first week, right? It's for the group that has the submission that I've been working on since like last year, like except February. We've had like significant delays and just like a lot of stuff come out of it. So the A submission, that's what I'm going to call it, right? So the A submission is what needs to be done first, right? And that one is due. It's been delayed 3 times, which is really bad to do with regulatory bodies. It was supposed to be submitted in September. We're in January. It's not submitted yet. So the deadline is now February 2nd. So everything needs to be done February 1st.
Alright.
And this is the one that they had to change one of the documents that I got approved. And so I had to go and immediately put it back on for review again. Not that one. So that news came out like Monday, right? And I saw it, but I was given this task to do for submission B, which has to come after submission A. Just because they're related enough that we need to get feedback from A so that we can make B better effectively. So obviously submission A takes priority because we are within a month of the submission deadline and we cannot extend it again. Right? That makes sense. And like everyone on this team is finally focusing in on this, and like, you know, my team's been doing it the whole time, but like everyone's finally doing it, right? So obviously the task that I had for submission B took less priority because I needed to work on submission A. I got an email from the person who's also working on submission A that says, hey, I know you're working on submission A, but do you have the report for submission B? And I was like, 2 things. 1, no. You're an approver on my thing for submission A, so that's bold statement, sir. 2, you said I had till the end of the week, and this is Wednesday. 3, if you needed proof that I was working on it, it's in a shared location. You could have checked it at any time, because I have been working on it all week. And 4, submission A needs to be done first. So, like, I find it funny that, like, my group gets held accountable for deadlines when no one else does. Like, my last thing that I put in for submission A, when I was still trying to make the original deadline, got held for 45 days waiting on one approver. Everyone else approved. It waited for 45 days for someone to approve. Luckily they approved it. I probably would have killed them if they didn't. Like, granted, if they actually had a problem with it, if there's something I needed to change, because it's important to get the documentation right, I obviously would have changed it. But I probably would have been like, why did it take you 45 days to tell me this?
Right.
So, like, I know he was just, like, giving me a reminder, but it was just like, but dude, I'm the last person you need to remind about tasks. Look at the tracker. I'm always the first one. Like, I'm always the first one done. Like, this is like the worst group project from hell because no one else was keeping deadlines, and now suddenly, like, everyone has to keep deadlines, and the team that was keeping deadlines the entire time is just sitting there being like, great.
You're telling me.
Yeah, stop telling me when the deadline is. Y'all can't make it. It's really important that we get these submissions in because it determines where we can sell products. So like, it's not like a thing to take lightly. So I do find it a little bit like frustrating. And yeah, I may have to work like tomorrow to finish it. Just because today kind of ended up a crapshoot.
It's been quite a day.
Yeah. But yeah. So I just couldn't help it. Like, I emailed back being like, I'm about halfway through it. We had a network outage today, so I couldn't access half my documents. And then also, I was also working on submission A, as you've noted. So yes, it's not done. I didn't say the thing about the fact that you told me the end of week would have been good. Because I was also like, you told me end of week, and you're gonna get it in end of week. This isn't the only project I work on.
Right.
Because I have a different, so I have submission D, which is a completely different project altogether. But that submission deadline's coming up soon too. So I need to prioritize that one on top, and like, obviously, yeah. It's just, I like my job, and I like the stuff that I do, but sometimes I'm just looking at people being like, really? Really? Okay. If yours was as important as you say it is, you would have gotten this done a long time ago. It's not my job to keep your deadlines, if I make them and you don't. You know, group project in hell.
Where's your head?
This one? Oh, he's on my nose right now. This one. Oh, hang on. Oh my god. There we go.
Oh, by the way, I was at the store today. I had the strong inkling to make pizza.
Oh yeah?
And I was like, I could get this stuff to make pizza. And I was like, I'm not making pizza. But I do miss it.
Yeah. I like, the first one you made was really good, and then for whatever reason after that, I couldn't eat more than 2 pieces of it. And I'm not happy about that, because it was really good. But like, I think it's too doughy or something. Really, like, if you're gonna make it more, we need to get one of those,
Pizza stone?
yeah, so we can get a crispy bottom.
Yeah, I think that's probably what was getting you, is that it was not cooking the way you would have liked.
Yeah, actually the work that I'm doing for submission D is really interesting because like the team that I'm working on with that is super receptive. And so I've been doing this really big document review. Like this is like, I don't know, I've had like 4 or 5 1 to 2 hour meetings over it already. More like 5 or 6 now that I think about it. So like it's a huge process, but they've been really good about it. The only thing that sucks is I hate leading these meetings because I'm not kidding. There are 9 people on these meetings and all of them have to have an input on something. And it's not like because of clout. It's like literally I need everyone's input to make sure I'm doing it right. It's like that complicated in the document. Because when we do the review on my document, they actually have to sometimes go back and change things on their documentation so we don't look good. And like, so it's the most collaborative I've ever been. But it's a really stressful meeting because it's 9 people and I have to listen to all of them and try to keep them all
like respected and also like informed in the way that they need to be informed.
Yeah. And like luckily no one talks over each other on purpose. But But I've also like it's been a really good experience for me on learning how to explain things with circumlocution because not everybody I work with has English as the first language. So we were talking about the word inversion and trying to explain what inversion is to a person that like it may not have been meaning the same thing, especially in terms of like I can't go more in depth into it, but it was like that's like the sort of things that we have to work through as we do it, which is fascinating for me. Like it's a good exercise, but it requires like a level of understanding and patience that like I haven't seen before in other like organizations. Like that's the one thing I really like about my company is that like so much of like I'm starting to wonder if like half the people that I work with aren't native English speakers. So like we need to be like honestly I'm a little upset that it's not mandatory for us all to learn Spanish. And then but like they do basic foreign language classes all the time for us so that we can try to, you know, be respectful and speak to our colleagues in their native language instead of the other way around. Before break they were doing Chinese like Mandarin Chinese language classes, and that was really cool. It was basic, but it was enough to get it.
It's
so
something.
Yeah.
More than what people usually get.
Yeah. So it's like that sort of stuff. So the folks that I'm working with right now are like primary Spanish speakers, so it's really interesting. When I say something that like I just forget that may not translate well, and I'm glad that the coworker that I'm working with right now has like the comfort level to say I didn't understand what that is. I don't think I have a word for it in Spanish. Or, you know, let's figure out what it means.
Yeah, I had that issue with I'd say one of my first years of working. We had someone who spoke exclusively Spanish, and I was like, so I'm gonna call the translator line, and they're like, okay, cool. We don't know what that is. Like I would talk about like I test people for HIV, and they're like, we have a word for HIV, you know, but like certain aspects of like the questionnaire talk about like prophylaxis. Like what is prophylaxis?
So yeah, that's one. So I did a lot of audits when I did work in pharmaceuticals because like when you're a contract pharmaceutical company, you get audited by literally everyone constantly. It is within their right. You should do it. Like they should do it. It's the right thing, but that means you're in audits all the time. And one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had was sitting into the Russian audit where we had to work through translators. And they would say like a name of something, like it would be a chemical compound or something, there wouldn't be a Russian translation. And so we'd like have to write it out, and like one time I actually had to like watch as they wrote out the chemical formula for the drug we were making because we couldn't explain it any other way. It was just like, we keep telling you what the name is, and like it's not a generic name, but it's like not something that easily translates into Russian. So here is the actual chemical formula that we are allowed to provide. Hopefully that's enough to like make it make sense. So it's always just like something like I feel like Americans don't think about enough is that like our language isn't universal. It's actually incredibly hard. It's not an easy language to learn, and it's not an easy language to translate from.
Yeah, English language is kind of fucked.
So like, just like think about that when you're having conversations with folks, and like be patient and understanding. And if you're somebody who works with people whose primary language isn't your own, maybe take the time to start learning theirs so that they don't always have to.
At least the baseline of the language.
Yeah.
I think I just beat the game.
Oh.
Yeah. End of the world. I think it's the end. Yep.
So is it implied that you went rogue and destroyed everything?
Destroyed the system, the bad system that was forcing bots to work to make energy.
Yeah.
And I unfroze the Freon world. And all the bats are free to do whatever they want. And now they can paddle stuff around for funsies. And then
Super
pieces
emergency.
of the bad bat fall down, and they're like, "Do we bat this thing around?" Yeah, we do.
That's funny.
And they laugh about it. This is the first time I think I've beaten the game without using a continue, so
You were just zoned in, honestly.
I was eager to play.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You're shiny.
It is so weird to hear the music like in its native state and not in the car.
I love the soundtrack for this game. What gets me is that City, or whatever Side, or whatever their company's name is, the next thing they made was like a soccer game. Like they made like something that isn't FIFA. And I'm like, okay, do you want to make another game like this?
This was one of the first games that you showed me.
Yeah.
Or not games, soundtracks.
Jeremiah Ross, aka Module. He did the sound design and the music, and so everything meshes well. Like they have each of the individual song listed. It's like it's all the same information. It's done by you, and it was copyrighted by Prodigy Design in 2010. Unless something else was done by someone else.
You're gonna look and see.
No, it's like it's just the soundtrack mixed and mastered.
Maybe-
STL Studio Wellington by Troy Kelly and Jeremiah Ross. Like everything says, you know, J. Ross, copyright Prodigy Design.
I wonder if they're just doing that thing where it's like, here, people will probably may want to know what each individual song is called. So we'll just send that to them.
Yeah, and the songs are named after the levels, which is so funny. Special thanks to the other members of the original Shatter team.
Original Shatter? What's the original Shatter?
I don't know, maybe it's like a web game.
It's pretty cool. UFC. Jura is deep in his feet again.
Not as deep as he was before.
Yeah.
When he like had like his ankles by his head and he just like gripped around them. His feet are right here.
Jura's really funny when he sleeps, because when he gets like real into sleep, he grips his toesies by his head.
He gets deep in the paint.
Sieg doesn't typically curl up as much, so it's kind of interesting he's kind of curled today. Our big fluffy boy. I'm so close to 1 million. That's only halfway there. I've spent the last like 2.5 hours grinding basically constantly.
Oh wow, it's almost 10.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worked out really well.
And I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm just lamenting that this is where we are. Oh, actually, I forgot.
If you get the opportunity... Oh, wow, it actually just resets. The music's not even done. It's a 7-minute song for like a 3-minute credits. Yeah, get the soundtrack. I know, there's like 3 soundtracks I absolutely recommend. NSR, Shatter, and like... No, I can't really be like, Donut County. Like, no. I'm trying to think of like what soundtracks like I've bought. Like I'm like
I
I
bought
got it. Spiritfarer is good.
Dead Cells, but we only like 4 songs from Dead Cells.
Yeah, it's like I like 10 songs from Donut County, but they're like 40.
A Short Hike. A
Short Hike's
was
pretty
really
good.
I know it's the same kind of like
No, like there's one that's like oh yeah,
Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. Halo 2 Volume 1.
Oh right, because you fucking love that song.
I love Follow, First Movement of the Odyssey. And also, Breaking Benjamin Rumpus Room.
Because it's a rumpus.
You can tell this is a rumpus room. This is where the rumpus happens. But yeah, Shatter is way up there on the if there's any game that you're just gonna if you want the soundtrack for, because the game, brick breaks aren't for everyone. But this music got me through my undergrad. It got me through my master's. Got me through just living alone after graduation. This is my get shit done. And I even got to Isle of Milo.
Yeah.
I love Milo. Not for everyone, but
The music is a little unique. That's not one I think is as universal.
but Daniel Olson's music is really, really good, especially that style.
Songs from Moonlit Lake.
Yeah, that like, I got to reach out to Module because like again, this came out 2010. I think I played around then or 2011, and I was like, "Yo, this music like is my life right now." But I tried to reach out to the guy, and his email didn't exist. Like the email that was listed on like his website or on his Wikipedia, because his website didn't exist. Like he must have just lost the domain, like didn't pay for it. And so like I was like, I gotta reach out to this guy and tell him how impactful his music is. And it didn't. I couldn't until last year, or no, 2019 rather. In 2019, I was finally able to like reach his email because he had just released music in 2019, like more music, and I was like, I love Neon Mind. It's such a good song. And he sent something like really, really informal back, like, thanks, I got more music on the way out. And I'm like, you Kiwi bastard, make better music again. I don't like his new stuff. Shatter's great though. So, yeah. Connect. No. Back up. 3 points. Yeah. Oh wow, I kicked my old score's ass. I like doubled it. Hell yeah.
I am very close to getting to 1 million and I'll be stopping.
Endless co-op.
How do you co-op a brick break?
You're both out there. And then there's
2
time.
paddles and 5 feet away because I'm not gay.
Because they don't gay. So yeah. Thanks for joining us on this. I had a great time playing Shatter. It's fun. It's good to go through that music in context.
You know what? I think you shouldn't break this one up. I think you should call it Port Plays Shatter, and then they'd be like, there's also the Okami interlude for your half hour. Because no plot happened.
Because I talked to my dad.
Yeah. But like, I think it might just be funny to keep it in there. I didn't realize you switched it without me having to like go live again, so it was really awkward because I was just doing like nothing for a little bit, and then I looked up and I'm like, oh, we're still live.
Yep.
Shit.
Yep. I can just change the displays.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, check this out. Oh, look, we're watching Okami again. But with Shatter noises. So, yeah. And it's gone.
Okay.
Oh, wait. And now it's us.
Oh no!
With the chat.
With the chat.
It's over there. Okay, we're back to Okami.
I'm only gonna play for a little bit longer, but I want to get that 1 million.
Just kidding. We're done.
Okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye!